Jurassic Park movies are great for sound designers because there really is nothing either harder or more gratifying than to make a creature seemingly come alive. Doing dinosaur vocals in the first movie really came down to recording lots and lots of interesting sounds and then collecting them and sorting them and layering them and turning them into dinosaur vocals. In the first one, the park hadn't opened yet, and so we didn't make a movie about a park with 20,000 people in it. In this one, it's a working park. And so we're putting those two things, dinosaurs and lots of people, together.
I was involved from the very beginning. Colin reached out to myself, and I had another sound designer work with me, Pete Horner. Pete and I worked with Colin on Safety Not Guaranteed, and I had worked with Colin on a short prior to that, so we had that history. And so Colin reached out to us one day, and he said, "You need to get on Jurassic World because dinosaurs," and, you know, it was like, let's go.
My role in Jurassic World was as a consultant. L. Nelson and I would talk about the process, you know, how we approached doing dinosaur vocals in the first movie.
He was an amazing advocate and a huge help. And one of the things was get new recordings. Not just because you need new stuff, but because it will provide you with inspiration. And that's where Gary would give me lots of great suggestions. You know, you need to find baby animals. They don't really know their voice yet. Sick animals. So searching for those unique vocalizations. You know, it took a lot of time and a lot of research and a lot of just going out day after day, hanging out with a microphone in front of interesting animals. It was all about waiting for that magical, surprising sound from the animals.
So what's this thing made of?
The base genome is a T-Rex. The rest is classified.
Colin's just so excited to find this new mutant thing. He definitely wanted it to be not right in the head. And this thing is bigger than the T-Rex. And so it was this amalgam of high squealy sounds combined with the weight and the body of this Rexy mutant. So I needed both ends. So I have a handful of animals that I found that I was really inspired by. Then for the high stuff, the squealy stuff, I started looking. I definitely used some dolphin because there's dolphin in raptor. But I looked for other animals that were squealy and a bit off. With those recordings, I then started putting together these roars. You don't want to get messy. You don't want it to just sound like 10 things all layered on top of each other. So as we're taking all of these recordings and all of these different elements, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The challenge for the Mosasaurus was you wanted it to be huge, but you also wanted it to sound like a marine mammal. And we wanted it to have that whale-like personality. So we ended up using walrus to get the size of this thing. And then pilot whale and beluga whale were part of the vocalization as well. this movie. It fits into the legacy of the Jurassic Park films, but it's also a whole new thing. There's a lot of new stuff. But this is not just some place that's coming to life. This is a park that 20,000 people a day come to. And so that was one of the levels, was finding that immersive park environment.
Hi, welcome to the park. Hi, welcome to the park. Hi, welcome to the park.
Mom, my feet hurt.
I know, it's been 2 hours. I'm sorry.
Right now, I'm sorry. It's just technical difficulty. What do you need? No, but don't worry.
It's so hard to do something new and unique. But the expectations are high, and I wanted to make sure that we put everything we could into this. We gave it the right attention and the right love, and paid due credit to the sound and the legacy of Jurassic Park. I don't pretend that I could top or match that sound. I tried to do something different. But it was a great reminder of how cool Jurassic Park is, how cool Jurassic World is.
Michael Giacchino is doing the score this time, and so he's got the unenviable task of using what John Williams did thematically and then making it a new score for a new story.
This is the entire attack on the when the guy looks up from the crowd. And,
that's the whole thing.
And they start coming in, and then it just goes nuts.
Michael's doing something that is very exciting and very modern and new and fresh, and yet it blends in with Mr. Williams' themes in a way that it feels like it's all one score.
It was very nostalgic for me, especially considering the way I started in this business was on the Lost World video game with Steven. So to me, I think what I wrote was in some ways a lot about that beginning. And the film is about sort of the attempt at a new beginning. And so it all seemed to mesh together nicely. One of the first things Colin said was it was important to him that the movie had a soul to it, that it wasn't just an action movie and it wasn't just a film about, you know, dinosaurs eating people. That's in there, it's all part of it, but he wanted the real big body of the film to have a soul, which was important to me too, because I always look forward to seeing a film that I can feel something. And I had this theme that I wasn't 100% confident about, but Colin was like, no, that's it, that's it, because he kept singing it back to me, and he kept, no, we're using that, we're using that. It was a lot of fun to explore that whole thing with him, and it was weird. He was building up confidence in me to just go for it. because on a project like this, where I normally don't have a problem with that, for some reason I was sort of hesitant on this film because of what this film has meant to me. So here we are on stage where the original Jurassic Park was recorded, which is fantastic.
It was all filmed right here.
It was all filmed right here, yeah. Just little baby dinosaur models. Yeah, it was all great. So that's really kind of fun and important, and also kind of carrying on what John did in that film, which is so iconic and so wonderful, and which inspired us to kind of keep doing what we do. Both of us came into this knowing that we both are huge fans of John Williams, and especially Jurassic Park. I mean, when you think back on that movie, the first thing you think of is that music. So we knew that we were going to use that music. It was just a matter of what is the best place to use that music. We want to honor both the film that came before and also honor what John did, what Steven did. This was very important to us to do it right and not be flippant about it. We have a 103-person orchestra, which is wonderful, and we also have a 70-person choir.
I did say I want the film to have a soul, but I also want it to have soul. So let's take them to church.
And again, it's about that respect of the people standing up there who have spent so many years doing what they do, that they can come in and do this for you, you know, in 3 or 4 hours, be done and out the door like it never happened. And yet you have this thing that is in front of you now that is, you know, and listening back to you're like, God, we did all that this week? This is so crazy. It never existed, and now it exists. That's a really fun feeling.